Hello, everyone. My name is Sarafi, and I'm happy to meet you all. Today, I'm going to be speaking with one of my colleagues, uh, the TG Guru, also known as Little Shuriken. Shuri, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man.
All right,
You glad to be here.
thank you. So, let's start off by discussing how you became a guru. So, you were part of the guild for a while, and then you kind of applied and took on the role. What led you to decide that you wanted to be a guru?
Well, I gotta say, I gotta say, it looked like fun. I wanted to say, yeah, it mostly looked like fun. I wanted to make stuff. Right? I wanted to be a part of a group to help other Yu-Gi-Oh players learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, as well as also teach other people how to play one of my favorite decks, TGs, or Tech Genus.
All right, excellent. And what did you do in the guild before you became a guru? How long were you part of the Discord server, and did you participate in any tournaments or anything else?
Well, I essentially came in when they started doing the guru battles. I think that was one of the first things. I
Oh
I
yeah,
watched the first one. It
the
was pretty cool.
the duel between it was Crow and Kevin to start, right? Yeah.
I think so, yes. And then after that, they did one against Cyber and Resonator, and I helped with that one.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm glad
Yeah,
that that was probably one of our most successful events. So I'm glad
yeah.
that you were part of that. Okay.
Yeah, but I saw the Crow one and the Crow and Resonator ones. Like, hey, let's stick around the server. I like the server. It's one of the servers that only talked. It's one of the only Discord servers that talks about Duel Links that I'm in. Everywhere else is kind of like I'm not a big fan of all the other communities and all the other Discord servers. So Reddit's all right, but this place is real cool in my opinion. It
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So what made you decide to choose TGs as one of your archetypes?
was cheap,
You,
short
I
and
have,
simple. It was cheap.
I have heard this from you in the Jeopardy, or not the Jeopardy, the quiz show that we did with Ku. But
But you
I
could
it,
elaborate on it further. I
in my
assume you want
opinion,
that.
it's not that cheap. I built the deck and I had to you had to dig through the shark box and
The
um
thing is, yeah, it is kind of a bit. It kind of. But for me, when I was building TGs, I wasn't even trying to build it. I
mhm.
was trying to build sharks because I just got back from. It was like high school, and I watched like this cool freaking video that got taken down. I have no idea where the video is, but it was this cool, awesome video on the battle between Barry and Hope and Yuma. And it was so cool. I'm like, damn, I want to play sharks. I want to play sharks so bad. I'm gonna do anything to play sharks wherever. And I've tried building sharks and duel links, and I realized how much they're ass. And this was before the Shark Drake skill came out. This is like a long time ago, before sharks got their dedicated skill. It's just territory of the sharks, pretty much. And it was bad. It was you make this rank four, and sometimes you make more rank fours, but they don't really do anything turn one. And that's basically it. You kind of just sit on Spider Shark and pass. And that sucked. It really did suck. But I tried making it work. I had some fun in gold, and eventually I got over the shark stuff, and I did what I do. I do research on the dex cards, on the other cards I got from the box. Because I open Atomic Theory, and I see TGs. I see a Decade's guide or Decade's video on TGs. I'm like, I have most of the stuff for this. Let's build it. I built it, and I had a lot of fun, and I got to like low legend, I think. And I'm like, damn, I like this deck. It's an actual good deck. It's not ass. I could I could win fights. I could occasionally beat harpies and not automatically lose to everything. And I have the Quarion Grand Drax, and I have quick synchroing on my opponent's turn. I can do these cool combos that require me to think, and I'm like doing pretty well in PvP, and I like the deck, and I just kind of stuck to the deck for few years, because there's nothing else I kind of wanted to play that was like TG, and that's basically why I stuck with TG.
Well, I will encourage you, sir, to go back and try sharks now that we have the Shark Rising
Oh, I,
skill. It's so
oh, I
much fun.
did, I did.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan actually.
You don't like the
It's
Shark
just
Rising skill? It's
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 all right.
it's an
It's all
OTK
right.
machine.
It's kind of simple though. It's you normal summon, you use your kaiju, use your back row removal, you normal summon Buzzsaw, and then you go for an OTK. And it's kind of linear. That's just kind of linear for me. Too linear, and it's boring.
That is literally every other deck in Duel Links except yours. But okay, fine. I will
No,
also.
speedruns are not that linear. They could do pretty cool stuff turn three.
I was about
So
to say
you gotta use your brain.
Speedroids. If you want to talk about cheap, Speedroids is 3 runs through a mini box.
Oh, I did that too.
Oh, that's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's so good. I love Speedroids. They're the best
I
deck in Duel Links.
I think I got it. I got pretty lucky with my pulls actually. So I got through like 3 boxes worth of speedway stuff and only about 2 boxes worth of gems. So
Nice.
I
Okay.
got them pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So let's see.
Oh,
All right. So a
uh,
lot of the what?
I would just like to add why I kept sticking with TG is that over the years, they Konami just kept releasing pretty good generic synchros like Rudy Rose, Stardust Warrior, who else? Trishula, and TGs could decently use them pretty much. So while I wasn't receiving direct support, generic good synchro stuff and synchro boss monsters were pretty nice to play with. So it was also another toy to keep me playing, even if I didn't have any new cards coming in.
All right, well, that's true for Duel Links, but I had to suppress a big go f yourself there because yes, you have gotten plenty of support recently. So let's move to that
Yeah.
question. So the TCG has released quite a few toys for TGs
Oh yeah.
recently, and I've seen it. You are eating quite good, sir, these days.
It is quite good in my opinion. It's pretty good, but I also felt like it needed to be pretty good because TGs as base, like they don't do much on their own. Most of them just special summon themselves, and then if they get destroyed, they search a card during the end phase, which just needs to like kind of slow. And since the deck doesn't really have any other good ways to slow your opponent down, like a floodgate or disruption, then that searching during the end phase is not going to really come into play. Or it might come into play, but it probably won't matter. And you'll probably get OTK next turn just due to the speed of TCG.
Man,
But this new
man,
support,
Man draws a card every time either player synchro summons, and he says that his deck doesn't do anything.
that's if they don't negate your card with something like, I don't know, infinite impermanence. And that's usually going to negate your one choke point, which was before Chibi Dragon Launcher, which is vulnerable to Ash, Imperm, Veiler, pretty much anything under the sun, Nibiru. It was very fragile. It was all right back then. No, it wasn't even all right. Ever since they banned Hulk, it's just been not great.
I feel
Not
your
great.
pain there. As another machine player, I feel your pain with them banning Hulk. They need to,
Yeah,
in the TCG, they need to give me back a Rodan already.
you're so right. You're so right.
Okay.
It's that
All right. So please continue.
So essentially, back then, the deck was very fragile. The end board wasn't that good. It was either Halberd Cannon or you make just like a what was his name? Shooting Blazar Dragon. I mean, it's an Omni negate that can negate a lot of things. It's just one negate, and most decks could deal with that. The Kaiju, any form of interaction, kind of just forces out, and that's basically what the deck was. It was just turbo out a Delta Excel Synchro, and hope your opponent is also playing an equally bad deck, and kind of outgrind them from there. But with this new stuff's good. Yeah, this stuff's great.
Random
Yeah.
question. Now that you can make all of your monsters machines, are you gonna run like Kite Drake as a one of just for the Omni
Wow.
negate?
Kite Drake. Hmm.
Well,
The
when I
thing
say
is,
when I say Omni negate, I don't mean like the negate to negate anything on and destroy it. I'm talking about like the board negate.
the field negate.
Yeah.
I considered it, but then you have to run TG Jet Falcon, and that card kind of sucks. And it doesn't really
Oh,
have its level is awkward
is
to
is
work with.
Striker not win? I thought Striker was win.
Striker is Earth,
Ah, dang. Okay.
and yet so you have to run Jet Falcon, and it's not the most worst thing in the world. Jet Falcon isn't terrible, especially since there's a lot of ways to special summon and normal summon in this deck now. with additional swarming potential with all clear. TG Trend Launcher is still an option. TG Star Guardian still helps swarm. TG Overdragoner helps swarm. And yeah, there's a bunch of good swarming options. But the thing is, this deck can be pretty. Is it xenophobic? I'm thinking.
Yes,
It doesn't like to play well with other cards outside its archetype because
xenophobic is what
TG
you're talking
over. Yes, it doesn't like to play that well with cards outside its archetype because of TG over Dragoner's effect to lock you into TGs, and that's basically one of the main choke points of the deck. But it's also one of the best cards of the deck, so you're always going to use it.
about. Well, yeah, but they gave you an Omni to they literally said, you know what, Gazelle Roar works pretty well for Salamangreat. Let's give TGs an Omni Negate, let them mill it, and then return it to their hand from the mill.
It sets itself. It doesn't return itself, but that's
It doesn't.
it is very good. It's very helpful. I will be honest. Just to insulate your combos, or not, just to insulate a combo that you do on your opponent's turn. The, the it's the one where you make the Crimson Dragon. You can actually in this deck it has a special combo that you can do with TG Blade Gunner by banishing a Mighty Striker in the graveyard, which TG Glaive Blaster will summon the banished monster. During your standby phase, TG Blade Gunner will come back, and during your opponent's main phase, use TG Mighty Striker's effect to a quick sync on your opponent's turn using TG Blade Blaster. You make Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon targets Glaive Blaster, and then you can just tag into Hot Red Doom, Archfiend Calamity, Big Guy. And it's pretty good. That's definitely pretty game winning.
Wait, okay. Well, hold on. The Crimson Dragon. Oh, so you're talking about King Calamity, the RDA synchro that like when it's summoned, your
Yeah.
opponent can't activate any cards for this turn.
Yeah, the one that Centurion's really abusing, and
That's
anyone that can make the
hilarious.
Crimson Dragon. It is.
Oh man, so you guys have your own Kali Yuga now. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Like you
Thank you.
said, TGs have been bad for a very long time. So I mean, and I can understand that because honestly, you really suffered from Hyper Librarian being the best card ever. Hyper Librarian was so good that they couldn't let anything else in TGs be good. But yeah, I guess they just stopped caring at some point.
And it's good that they stopped carrying because I feel like it's reached a pretty decent state as of now. It's good. And it's affordable too. Have you seen the prices on TCG Player? They're fucking dirt cheap. Like, goddamn, you could buy all the necessary TG cards for a deck for like $14, I think. You fill the rest of it up with an engine and some cheap hand traps, and you got yourself a pretty budget list right there. I have one put up right now. I'm thinking of building this one.
Nice. Well, yeah. When my fiance and I move in together, we're gonna definitely start doing locals. So I have to kind of pick
Awesome.
a deck, and then once I have like a physical deck, I'm gonna be playing remote duels in the Discord server. So I got to pick a deck, and if he takes the deck that I want, then I'll probably get TGs because it's a deck that I'm relatively familiar with because of you. So
All right. That's pretty cool. Looking on.
all right,
I'll have more resources out to help with the TCG list. I'm just waiting for well, not really anything. I just need a really solidified information I got, and we'll just get to it essentially.
all right, okay. So let's talk about editing. So your role as a guru, you have your own YouTube channel, you make content on Reddit, and obviously that involves a lot of extra work on your part. So let's for YouTube, what types of editing software do you use?
I like to use DaVinci Resolve and Photoshop to help me out here. And don't ask me where I got my copy of Photoshop. I'm not legally allowed to say.
Fair enough.
So I used to use Lightworks. This is old, not old, but it's this program I used to use a while ago. It's all right. It's decent if you want to use some basic video editing, but it's definitely got its limitations. Though it is kind of easy to pick up relatively. I'm saying it's relatively pretty easy to pick up because it does take a few lessons and a few tutorials online to learn. And once you get that down, you learn what you need to know. You could make some decent videos. But I personally wanted something a little stronger, a little better, a little more versatile. So I did my research and looking at what other YouTubers make, and I see one of my main inspirations. I think it was the cat with the mustache. I saw one of his video descriptions that he said he uses DaVinci Resolve. So I'm checking this out, and it's an amazing video editing program. It's free. It's got you can make your own custom stuff. No, the it has basically everything Lightworks had or Light. Yeah, I think it's Lightworks had everything Lightworks had, plus this cool thing called the Fusion tab, which you can use to make a lot of stuff. Actually, there's 3D particle effects. The there's a lot of custom effects you can use. You can set up your own text in there. There's a million things that I can't even list off the top of my head because I'm still learning how to use the Fusion tab. It's massive on what it could do. And then where there's the intentional purpose of DaVinci Resolve, which is this coloring. And I haven't looked much into coloring, but I heard it's amazing. It's like industry defining. I've heard that. So I'm starting to learn DaVinci, not starting, but I've learned some. There's still a lot more to learn. I'm still reading. I'm trying to read a few books on it.
Okay.
So that's basically what I use for my video editing.
All right. And in your opinion, you've spent a lot of time looking at editing. So, in your opinion, when you look at the other content creators in the guild, like for example Notorious Cly, do you think that he's doing a good job, or do you think
He's
that?
doing an amazing job. He's super consistent, which is work. If you want to grow a YouTube channel, I feel like the most important part is consistency. Like what you're doing, right? You're consistently putting out videos. For me, I'm trying to learn stuff, and I'm like inconsistent with learning. I'm inconsistent with posting. I haven't posted in like 3 months on my YouTube channel. That's why I'm only got like 30 subscribers. But yeah, you do. I feel like you two are doing a lot better job than me at growing my YouTube channel because you guys are just really consistent with your content and you're pumping them out really, really good. Like, and they're pretty good content too. I certainly do enjoy the content of both your channels. I feel like Notorious Clyde is very informal. Is provides a lot of information. He's very like he goes in depth, and that's basically what you need. You don't really need fancy editing tools to make great content. As long as you know what you're talking about and you present it in a presentable, understandable fashion, then you got a really good channel, eh? This is something you provide, something you can give out. It doesn't have to be super edited. It definitely looks a lot better if it's super edited. But if you provide the information people need, people will go out and seek it. You
All
know?
right, yeah. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
So you talk about how you haven't had any content recently, and I feel like the audience could better understand you if I gave you the chance to talk about it. So obviously, Cly and I do not put as much effort into editing our content as you do. So can you give us an idea of how much time goes in editing one of your videos? Like for example, your video where you did the demonstration of the new combo where you had like that music and you made Tech Genus Glaive Blaster and you kind of explained through
Oh, I made
visuals.
that one on like 10 minutes. The music was just what I have on my EDO Pro.
Okay. All right. So
That's literally it. All it does take 10 minutes. I
okay.
needed that for an example to show to someone, but something I feel like a better example would be probably one of the first videos I did. It was TG and Gay. No, it was the one before that. It was the
The
How It Feels to
how
Play
it feels to
TG.
play
Yeah, that
GG.
one.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
So tell us about that. So that was a really good video. I think that's
I,
probably your
I
best video. And
probably
how long did that take you to make?
maybe about 2 weeks, about 20 hours maybe. Most of it was learning of what I need to do and then trying to figure out how to do what I want to do. And a decent amount of it is trying to figure out what the vision is. I will be honest. I have a hard time figuring out like what's the whole artistic vision of a project. That's really what I get stumped on. Because if I feel like if I don't have that, then it's kind of aimless what I want to do, and then I kind of end up wasting a bunch of time trying to do stuff that I'm not even sure what I want, and that's kind of an issue what I'm trying to deal with right now. But yeah, it took about 20 hours to make that video. If I were to try it again, it'd probably take like 5 because I know everything I need to do and everything I would want to do. I'd simply just be replicating what I did before, and I could probably bump one out in like 5 hours, maybe two. But most of the process is just learning the new stuff. That's what I really get. That's what really takes a while. You get me?
Yeah, I get you. All right. Well, how do you feel like your skills as an editor have developed since you started this channel and since you started being a guru?
They've improved definitely. Since I've been a guru, I feel like my photoshopping skills have just gotten a lot better. In general, I feel like because it's a lot more practice. It's like it's just a lot more practice. Like every so often you post like some post you post a post and I want to post like a meme or I want to make it look good or I want to post like a guide and I make it in Photoshop. I try to make it look good. And I remember the first guide I posted was the TG guide for Duel Links. And I definitely got some feedback there to make the text bigger, to fix the background. And I feel like I come back from each post a little bit smarter than I was before with photoshopping. And video editing, yeah, I definitely learned more skills as each project comes along. With each project I do, I definitely try to learn something new because I essentially want to reach the vision in my head, which I become like a legendary video editor with legendary skills. Like that's some of the things that I want to find my core memories. I think my main inspirations. I want to reach those levels eventually. So that's what are essentially my goals to reach that level of editing. So that's why I'm trying to get better. You get me?
Yeah, and I think you're well on your way at this point. Is there anything else you would like the audience to know about you?
Hmm, that's a very good question. I'll give myself 10 seconds to answer this. Give me money. That's what I want them to know. I want to convey that they should give me money for no particular reason. Just give me money. Give me
Okay.
your love. Give me your affection. Give me your money.
Okay. Well, I give me your Cash App and I'll put it in the I'll put it in the
Thank
description.
you. All right.
Okay. And then, do you want to shout out any of the other gurus?
Shout out to Cyber Dragon Guru. Let me pull up the list. Actually, let me just pull up the list. Shout out
Man
to
does
me.
man doesn't
Shout out to
remember
me.
his coworkers.
Shout out to Chrome, Great Keeper Guru. Shout out to Crow, Blackwing Guru. Shout out to you, Speedroid Guru, because you're very cool and I appreciate being on this podcast.
Thank you.
Shout out to Bastion Bot, Best Guru, Bastion Guru.
You
Shout
know
out to
what?
him as
You know
well too.
what? I gotta
That's
do
the
that too.
online.
I gotta do that too. You know what? Like let's take a moment to thank Bastion Bot because he pulls so much weight in the server.
He's so right. How would I ever remember cards without Bastion Bot? I thank you every day, Bastion Bot.
I can't believe they update him so fast. Like you'll see cards in the content like card releases, and like 2 hours later you can search him in Bastion. It's crazy.
I'd like to give a shout out to Resident Guru for sharing my first video, for sharing how it feels to play DG in his channel. I think that really boosted the viewer count. That really got me motivated to want to keep doing videos because it felt pretty good. It felt pretty good to have like 20 likes on my video. That was pretty awesome. Shout out to Cubic Guru. He's like my boss, I think. He's like our boss, right?
He is our boss.
He's
Yes.
shout out to Mr. Sharp for just being an all around goat. Shout out to Cybers for interviewing me. Really appreciate. I really liked their interview when we had that. Shout out to Code Talker Guru. I'm trying to think something. Shout out for you because you play Guilty Gear and I like the Guilty Gear music, so it's like cycle link between us. Only I understand. I don't think I ever mentioned this to you, but I don't really know what else to say about you. You're pretty cool. Shout out to Chaos the Ball for hosting all our tournaments.
Yep.
Shout out to Crow for his bird chat. I really enjoy seeing all these birds. It's really cool. And being an all around pretty cool guru and someone pretty good example what it means to be a guru. Crow. Shout out to Galaxy Eyes Guru for just being another goat in the server, in my opinion. Shout Thanks Goldmine for being a guru. Shout out to Fluffle Guru. You've done some pretty cool work for the server. I'd like to shout you out. Pretty cool. Shout out to Chrome again, because I like him. He played custom card matches with me one time. That was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. We should do that again. If you're listening to this, we should do that again. Shout out to Abyss Actor Guru for also being another GOAT and being consistent with your schedules. Shout out to Battling Boxer Guru for being, I think you're a pretty cool dude, in my opinion. Shout out to Epic Prodigy. I think that's it,
All right. Well, it's literally everybody, but
pretty
okay.
much, because they're all worth the shout out, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Okay. Well, everyone else, this is Serafi. I was thrilled to have you all with me.